Hey there, in today's practice, we are going to work on lengthening the spiral line, or think of just doing a lot of twisting today. A lot of times I find when people do twists that they start to move the hips to take the twist a little deeper. You'll want to pay attention to isolating the twist primarily to the spine rather than moving the hips. And so making sure that your hips face forward while you're rotating at the spine, and that might change the way that you feel the twist and just the depth that you can take. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. Make sure you have 2 blocks or a way to lift the floor up. And if you have sensitive knees, some type of padding for the knees, like a blanket. And we'll just start in a comfortable seat. You're welcome to sit up on any props that you might need. Finding your version of a comfortable seat, whatever that might look like. Rest the hands somewhere along the legs. You might close the eyes or gently gaze down at the nose. Nice long inhale to sit tall. Nice long exhale to relax the shoulders down away from the ears. First few moments are for you to adjust the pose if you need to adjust. Next, you'll start to notice the rate of your breath. Is it fast or slow? And are you breathing into the chest, the belly, or both? Next, you might take the time to scan the body from the top of the head all the way down to the tips of the toes, checking in with each area to see how it feels in this moment. You might notice certain areas that feel a little bit more tense or uncomfortable, and others that maybe feel a little bit more relaxed or at ease. Reminder that one of these is not necessarily better than the other. It's just a reflection of how you move throughout your day. Finally, you'll bring your awareness to the mind to reflect on any thoughts that have come up so far in your practice or your day. Has the mind been racing with thoughts, or has it been a little bit more calm? Do the thoughts revolve around a certain topic? And do they like to linger? Or can you easily let them go? We'll take one deep breath together, where you inhale for 4, and then you'll open the mouth and let out a nice on the exhale. You can imagine yourself releasing anything stressful, frustrating, that you just don't want to carry into your practice. So when you're ready, you'll inhale for 4. Breathe deep, 3. Feel the ribs expand, 2. Sip in the last bit of air, 1. Open the mouth, exhale. You'll start to close the mouth and do your best to keep equal length inhales and exhales, maybe a 4 count in, 4 count out. Ideally through the nose if you can today. And then you'll start to lower the chin down towards the chest. Roll the right ear over the right shoulder. Leave it there. Inhale, bring the right hand up and over to the left side of the head. Exhale to pull the left shoulder down. Breathe deep into the left side of the neck. You can stay here, or maybe take the left fingertips towards the floor. Crawl them further away from the body. 3 to 4 breaths here. Now after your next exhale, return the hands back down towards the legs. Roll the chin towards the center. This time you'll stack left ear over left shoulder. Inhale, bring the right hand up and over to left hand up and over to the right side of the head. Exhale to pull the right shoulder down. Breathe deep into the right side of the neck. You're welcome to stay here, or you might take right fingertips towards the floor and crawl them as far away from the body as you'd like. 3 to 4 breaths in this position, allowing yourself to just observe how right side of the neck feels. Next, exhale, both hands come down towards the legs. Roll the chin towards the center. Leave it there. Interlace the fingers behind the head and pull the elbows forward. Continue to sit tall as you exhale. Tuck the chin down towards the chest. Breathe deep into the back of the neck. Space between the shoulder blades. If you need a little bit more, you're going to continue to round the spine down, elbows towards the floor. 3 to 4 breaths wherever you are. Noticing how the back side of the body feels. And when you're ready, you'll gently push the head into the hands to lift the head up. Exhale to relax the hands down towards the legs. Inhale, shrug the shoulders all the way up towards the ears. Exhale to squeeze the shoulder blades together tight, and then all the way down towards the hips. One more. Inhale, shrug the shoulders up. Exhale to squeeze the shoulder blades together tight, and then all the way down towards the hips. You'll slowly start to blink the eyes open if they were still closed. And we'll start to move into some seated posture. So you can stay here with the hips elevated, or you might just slide the blanket out to the side. Start to straighten the right leg and bring your left foot in front of the left hip. Interlace the fingers around the left leg, and then you're going to inhale, sit tall. Exhale, push the left hip into the ground. You're welcome to stay here, right toes up towards the ceiling, or we're going to move towards a gentle twist. So start to rotate the chest towards the left, hug left knee with the right elbow, continue to sit tall. If you'd like, you can place that left hand behind the spine, right arm to the outside of the left leg. Push the arm and the leg together. Inhale to sit tall. Exhale, see if you can twist. Look at a new spot back behind you. You can continue with this movement with the breath to deepen your twist with each inhale and exhale. And then as you inhale, you'll slowly start to rotate forward. Take the left foot to the inside of the right thigh, left knee heavy towards the ground, moving towards your revolved head to knee. Right hand on the inside of the right leg. Turn the chest towards the left. You can take the left hand behind you if you'd like and rotate the chest even more. If you feel a nice stretch, you might stay here, or you'll inhale, take left hand behind the head, pull the elbow backwards in space. 3 to 4 breaths here. If you need a little bit more and you want to add the side bend, crawl the right fingertips towards the right ankle. Maybe you lower the right forearm towards the floor. Wherever you are, try to point left elbow, left shoulder high to the sky. Last part, if you want to take it, is to reach left fingertips towards the right toes. And another 3 to 4 breaths here into the left side of the body, between left hip and left armpit. Next, exhale, left hand comes down to the floor, right hand to the outside of the right leg. Turn the chest towards the right toes for your Chandrasana, head to knee pose. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, start to walk the hands forward towards the right ankle. Think chest forward towards the toes with the hips and the left knee heavy. Maybe you tuck the chin slightly towards the chest. Last 2 to 3 breaths here. Next, inhale, you'll walk the hands back towards the hips. Right hand stays on the floor on the outside of the right leg, right hip. Inhale, reach left hand high to the sky. Exhale, pass the left arm underneath the right leg or right arm and see if you can reach to a spot behind the right arm. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, twist, pass the left arm underneath the right. See if you can reach back behind you. One more. Inhale, left hand high to the sky. Exhale, left hand underneath the right. 3 breaths here, reaching as far as you can. Inhale, back into an upright position. Same thing, other side. So straighten the left leg, left toes up towards the ceiling. Inhale, slide your right foot in front of the right hip. Hug the knee in tight. Inhale to sit tall. Exhale, really push the right hip into the ground. Shoulders away from the ears. And then you'll start to rotate towards the right knee. Left elbow wraps around the right knee. Inhale, sit tall. Again, you can stay here, or you might take the right hand behind the body. Inhale to lift the left arm up and over to the outside of the right leg. Push the arm into the leg. Inhale to sit tall. Exhale, see if you can twist a little bit deeper. Try to push the arm and the leg together. Another 2 breaths. Moving here with the breath if you'd like. And then you'll inhale, rotate back towards the center. Right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Take The left hand down on the inside of the left leg for your revolved head to knee. Right hand either to the right leg or just outside of the right leg. On the right leg or just right out. Yes, okay. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, you're going to start to turn the chest towards the right knee. You can stay here, or you'll inhale, take the right hand behind the head. Again, pull the elbow backwards behind you. So you can try to get right elbow and left knee in one line. Then you'll exhale. See if you can crawl the left fingertips towards the left ankle for your side bend. Maybe you lower the left forearm down towards the floor. 3 to 4 breaths here. Always an option to take right fingertips towards the left toes. You pick which expression of the pose feels the best for you. One is not necessarily better than the other. Last 2 breaths. Inhale to pull yourself all the way up. Rotate the chest towards the left toes. Moving towards Chandrasana, head to knee pose. One hand on each side. Inhale, lift the chest. As you exhale, you're going to fold forward at the hips. Walk the hands as far as you can towards that left ankle. Pull the chest forward towards the toes. Keep the right hip, right knee heavy. And then maybe a slight tuck of the chin towards the chest. So think more of pulling the chest forward rather than pointing the heart towards the floor so that you have a long spine. And sometimes that means the hands are back a little bit closer to the hips. We all have a different expression that we have to take in order to feel almost the same thing. When you're ready, inhale. Hands go back towards the hips. Left hand somewhere on the outside of the left hip. Inhale, reach the right hand high to the sky. Exhale, pass the right arm underneath the left. Maybe it won't go, but just try to reach. Inhale, right hand high. Exhale, try to pass right hand underneath the left. Next, inhale to lift. Next, exhale to twist. Right hand underneath the left. Give it your best shot. And then you'll inhale, lift the chest back towards the center. And then you'll come forward onto the hands and knees into your tabletop position. Hands directly underneath the shoulders, knees directly underneath the hips. Push the tops of the feet into the floor. You'll start to wake up the spine with your cat-cows. So as you exhale, tuck the tailbone down, round the low back. Push the hands down to round the space between the shoulder blades, finally chin to chest. As you inhale, move towards looking up. Untuck the tailbone, drop the belly, the chest, and start to look up. So you have 4 to 5 rounds here. Moving the spine with your breath in your own time. Going as slow as you'd like here. On the next time you drop the belly and the chest, try to pull the chest forward without moving the hands as you look up. After your next round, you will turn back to your neutral tabletop position. Tuck the toes all the way under to stretch the bottom of the feet. Hands can stay on the floor. If this already feels like an intense stretch for the bottom of the feet. If you can handle a little bit more, hands can go to blocks or whatever you're using to lift up the floor. Or maybe sink the hips all the way back towards the heels. Hands go somewhere along the legs. For today, I want you to find one spot on the floor in front of you. And you're going to try and hold your gaze there for the next 5 breaths. Noticing just the rate of your breath, how the body feels, and if any thoughts pop up. When we take the time to focus the gaze on one point, it's referred to as the drishti point. And as you exhale, you'll lower the hands down towards the floor, tap the tops of the feet out. We're going to start to move towards a downward facing dog. So hands go down, shoulder width distance apart, tuck the toes under, lift the hips high and back behind you, push the hands down and forward to sink the hips or the heels back towards the floor. If it's really difficult on the back of the legs, you can keep the knees bent. Try to make a long spine. You want more weight in the feet than in the hands so that you can make almost like a triangle with the floor and the body. Pedal it out, left, right, left, right. Relax the head so the ears can go in line with the arms. And then if you're going for a static version of your downward facing dog, try to tuck the tailbone down towards the heels. When you're ready, you'll look forward towards the hands, step the feet forward to find your first standing forward fold. Bend the knees. Get the belly closer to the thighs. Grab opposite elbows. Relax the head. Pull the elbows, head towards the floor. 3 to 4 deep breaths here. Maybe sway side to side, maybe not. Next, exhale, we're going to move into a twist in your forward fold. So right hand to the floor or a block, bend the right knee. Inhale, reach left hand high to the sky. If you can't reach your blocks right now, right elbow can always go above the right knee. So you can go for the twist here. Try to get your left hand high, left leg straight. Last 2 breaths. You can always look down at the floor if it's too much on the neck. Exhale, left hand comes down to the floor or block. Bend the left knee, straighten the right. Inhale, right hand high to the sky. So you want to pick a variation that's going to allow your hand to go straight up towards the ceiling. So if it's difficult to get that twist today, maybe take left elbow above the left knee to see if that gets the right hand high. Last 2 breaths. Next, exhale. Both hands come down towards the floor. Slight bend in the knees. Roll yourself all the way up to standing. Shoulders go down the back. Head comes up last. Palms can face forward. Maybe you find mountain pose for a second, Chandrasana. Then we're going to start to move through some standing poses. So you're going to want to set up your blocks in front of you, about shoulder width distance apart, so that if you needed to, you could grab onto them for balance. And your blanket nearby just in case you need it for the kneeling portion. You're going to start to shift the weight towards your left foot. Inhale, right knee in line with the right hip. Palms face forward, fingertips towards the floor. Find that focal point, your drishti, somewhere on the floor about 3 feet in front of you. You can stay here if you're really struggling with your balance, or we're going to add a twist. So inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, twist towards the right leg. Left hand to the outside of the right leg. Right hand behind you. And if you fall out, you just get right back in. Maybe chuckle. Maybe just watch how you respond to yourself. Inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, push the right heel back behind you. See if you can find your version of a warrior 3. So palms can go towards the center of the chest if you'd like. Try to get the chest and the right leg parallel to the floor. Next, exhale, right hand comes down towards the floor on a block, or it can touch the floor. Take the left hand to the left hip. We're moving towards Revolved half moon or Parivrtta, Ardha Chandrasana. Next inhale, you're going to start to turn the chest towards the left. Woo. And if you fall out, it's okay. Maybe you reach left hand high to the sky. So right hand down, turn the chest towards the standing leg. And if you really want to challenge your balance, you'll look up towards the ceiling. Last 2 breaths. Try to lift the back leg a little bit more. Exhale, left hand comes down to the floor or block. Step your left or your right foot back behind you for your pyramid pose, Parivrtta. This one I want you to take a little bit shorter. So think 2 to 3 feet and try to get right heel to point straight behind you. Remember, your feet can be more on train tracks rather than on the same line. Walk the hands a little bit closer on blocks or whatever you're using to lift up the floor. Pull your left hip back as you push the right hip forward. Try to keep your left leg straight. If you're really struggling, you might need to take hands a little higher. Inhale, pull the chest forward away from the hips. And then exhale, maybe you can lower down a little bit more. 2 breaths here. We're going to start to move towards revolved triangle or Parivrtta Trikonasana. So right hand can stay on a block. You're just going to take your block or whatever you're using closer to that left foot, or you're going to take the right hand to the left leg. Then left hand to the low back. Really push down through both feet, and you can keep a slight bend in this front knee if you need. Rotate the chest towards the left. Hold here, really push down through your left big toe. Squeeze the legs a little bit more together. Maybe you lift that left hand high to the sky. Last 2 breaths. Next, exhale. You're going to start to bend the right or left knee, reach your right leg back behind you, pass the right arm over the left for a revolved high lunge. Stay on the right toes, push the palms together, turn the chest towards the left. The more you push the palms together, the deeper you might be able to twist. If that's too difficult, you can always just take right elbow to the top of the knee, or you're going to lift the chest and turn the chest towards the left. Last 2 breaths. Next, exhale. You're going to slowly lower right knee down towards the floor. This is where you can place padding underneath the knee if you need it. We won't be here very long, but you'll keep right hand either on the floor or a prop in line with that left foot. Inhale, reach. Left hand high to the sky. You can stay here, or maybe you take left hand to the left thigh. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, pass the right arm over the left leg. Palms together, push the palms together. Now turn the chest towards the left. The more you push the palms together, the arms into the leg, the easier it might be to twist. Maybe it won't be. Inhale, back towards the center, moving towards a pigeon pose or Ardha Kapotasana. So you're going to walk your left foot over towards the right side, bend your left knee, and you're going to try and sink this left hip towards the floor. If it's really difficult, you're just going to place a block, blanket, whatever you need underneath. Try to keep your left toes flexed forward. And then this left heel can go closer to the right hip, or it can go more forward. You're just going to change the angle of the stretch that you get. Reach your right leg back behind you. Adjust the props. You're welcome to stay upright if you need. Or you're going to exhale all the way down. If this is too much for you, you can always take a figure 4 stretch on the back. Try to relax, forehead towards the floor. This might be where you hang out. If you want to add a twist, you're going to take your forearms, walk it more towards the left foot. Try to keep your left hip heavy. So your chest is now pointed in the opposite direction of your left knee or the knee that's forward. Try to still sink that left hip down, and you have another 3 breaths. Inhale, slowly back towards the center. And you're going to take the hands down underneath the shoulders, tuck the right toes under, step left foot next to the right for a downward facing dog, pedal it out, left, right, left, right. If you need a child's pose or something else to take a couple more breaths that are in a more restful type of posture for you, please do that in whatever pose that feels best for you. You have 5 breaths, whether you're in downward facing dog or a child's pose, or just in a comfortable seat. Trying to lengthen out the exhales. Maybe just checking in with the rate of your breath, how the body feels, and the presence of any thoughts. When you're ready, you're going to start to look forward towards the hands. Step the feet forward to find your forward fold. Relax the head down. When you're ready, slight bend in the knees. Roll yourself all the way up to standing. Shoulders go down the back. Head comes up last. Same thing, other side. So we'll start in a mountain pose, Chandrasana. Palms forward, shoulders away from the ears, fingertips project towards the floor. Shift the weight towards your right foot. Inhale, left knee in line with the left hip. Option to stay here. Find that focal point or your drishti. If you want to add the twist, inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, twist towards the left leg. Right hand to the outside of the left leg. Left hand behind you. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, push left heel back behind you. Find your version of warrior 3. So hands can go to blocks if you need here. Maybe hands to the center of the chest or overhead. Try to get the chest and the left leg parallel to the floor with the left toes down. 2 breaths. Next, exhale, moving towards revolved half moon. Left hand goes down to the floor or a block at any height. Right hand to the right hip. Inhale, start to rotate the chest towards the right leg. Right hand can stay on the hip, or you might reach right hand high to the sky. To challenge your balance, you'll look up towards the right hand. Try to lift your back leg a little bit higher. If you fall out, it's okay, you get right back in. And maybe yours looks like this, because you need a little help with the balance, and that's okay. We all start somewhere. Next, exhale, take right hand down towards the floor to find your pyramid pose. Step the left foot back only about 2 to 3 feet. Experiment with the feet left to right, how wide apart they are. Hands can walk a little closer on the blocks. See if you can point left hip down towards the floor as you pull the right hip back and push down equally through both feet. Then think of lengthening the chest away from the hips. Exhale, you might fold a little deeper. Last 2 breaths in your Parivrtta. Moving towards Parivrtta Trikonasana. Take your left hand either on the block or your prop a little closer to that right foot. Doesn't even have to go all the way to touch. You can stay a little further away. Or your left hand's going to go towards that right lower leg. Just avoid the knee for me. Right hand to the low back. When you're ready, push down through both feet. Squeeze the legs a little bit together. Turn the chest towards the right. If you wanted to, you can take right hand high to the sky. To challenge your balance, look up towards the right hand. Last couple of breaths. Next, exhale, return the right hand to the right hip. Bend your left knee. Reach your left leg back a little bit further behind you for a revolved high lunge. Take that left forearm or left elbow, pass it over your right knee. Palms can go together. Turn the chest towards the right. You can take the left elbow on top of the right knee, or if you want to just stay upright, you can. Try to keep a deep bend in that front knee. You need to shift a little bit more weight towards your right foot than you think, and squeeze the left glute. Last 2 breaths. Next, exhale, turn the chest towards the floor, lower the back knee down. Place a blanket or any support you need underneath your left knee. Moving towards revolved low lunge, take the left hand down somewhere in line with the right foot. Left hand can be on a block if you need it. Inhale, reach right hand high to the sky. You're welcome to stay in this position if this feels the best for you, or you might take the right hand to the right thigh. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, pass left elbow over that right knee. Then palms together, push the palms together, turn the chest towards the right. Still shift a little bit more weight to the right foot. More than you think. Squeeze the left glute. Last 3 breaths. Inhale slowly back towards the center. Moving towards pigeon pose or Ardha. So walk your right foot over to the left side of the mat. Bend your right knee. So I'm going to show you this way. And you want to try and have your toes facing forward. That right heel can go close to the left hip, or you can take it a little further forward so that you have more of a 90-degree bend in your right knee. Wherever you are, try to reach your left leg back behind you, and you're trying to stay on top of the left thigh. You might place a prop underneath that right hip if your hip is a little tight today. And then you can stay upright, hands on the floor, arms straight, shoulders away from the ears, or you'll exhale, lower the forearms down into your forward fold. Relax the head. And you have about 4 breaths with the chest in the center, trying to lengthen out the exhales. Maybe just checking in with the rate of your breath, how everything feels. You're welcome to stay here with the chest in the center, or option to add a gentle twist. You'll walk forearms over towards where the right foot is while still trying to keep right hip heavy. So your chest is in the opposite direction of the right or forward knee. Last 3 breaths wherever you are. Inhale slowly back towards the center. You got a couple of options here. You can pop up into a downward facing dog to just feel how right and left sides of the back of the legs feel, or you can go into a child's pose. Big toes touch, knees a little bit wider than the hips, and walk the forehead towards the floor. That's where we're all going to meet. Then maybe you take the time in your downward facing dog to pedal it out, pedal it out. Noticing how it feels this time around. And then you'll lower the knees down, big toes touch, knees a little bit wider than the hips, walk the hands down and forward. Relax the forehead towards the floor. If the forehead does not meet the floor, take a block or a prop, put it underneath the forehead. Then push the hands down and forward to see if you can encourage the hips a little closer to the heels. 3 to 4 breaths here. Inhale, slowly lift the chest. We're going to move towards thread the needle. So start with the hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, reach left hand high. Exhale, pass the left arm underneath the right. Look towards the right, left side of the face onto the floor. Left shoulder on the floor, and you can walk that right hand a little bit more forward. Push the right hand down and forward without it actually moving to see if that changes how this twist feels. And if you need a little bit more support, you can try and tuck your toes under. 3 breaths. Inhale, push down through that right hand. Lift yourself up. Both hands underneath the shoulders, same thing other side. So inhale, reach right hand high. Exhale, pass right arm underneath the left. Look towards the left, right side of the face on the floor, hips over the knees. Walk your left hand a little bit more forward. Tuck the toes under if you need here. Push left hand down and forward to see if that twist feels a little different. 3 breaths. Next, inhale, you'll push down through that left hand to lift the chest up. And then you're going to grab onto your blanket or towel. And we're going to do a little supported back bend here. So you want to make sure to roll your blanket or your towel. You want it to be a little bit wider than the torso. Then we're going to place it behind us so that when you lay down, this part of the rolled blanket towel is going to meet right underneath your armpit. Then you're going to relax the head back. Legs can stay straight. Arms can go out to the side. If they start to tingle or go cold, I need you to actually bring the arms a little closer because then we're putting a little too much tension or compression on some of the neurovascular structures. You can close the eyes here. If you wanted to, you might add a hip opener, bring the soles of the feet together, knees out to the sides. Maybe you place some props underneath if they don't quite meet the floor so that the body can relax into the support. You have about 6 to 8 deep breaths here. Just noticing how the body feels in this moment. Observing the mind, allowing whatever needs to present itself without any judgment. Giving yourself permission to watch and then to let it go. If the knees are bent in a hip opener position, you'll use your next exhale to straighten the legs. And then you'll roll to one side so that you can move the prop out from underneath the middle back. Then you'll exhale, lower back down onto the low back. Maybe bend the knees, rock them side to side. Just checking in with how everything feels. Then we're going to start to move towards a spinal twist. So hug both knees in towards the chest. And then as you exhale, you're going to drop the knees towards the left. Try to keep the right shoulder closer to the floor. If you need to place a prop underneath the legs so that your shoulder can relax towards the floor, you are welcome to do so. You might take your left hand to the outside of the right leg and encourage them closer to the floor while you reach the right hand further away from the body. Right hand or palm can go face down or face up. And you might experiment with which one gives you a nice little stretch. And then you can always play the position of the head. You have about 6 to 8 deep breaths here. Noticing if the inhales and the exhales feel a little different when you're in a spinal twist. Is it more challenging to take a deep breath in fully? Next inhale, you'll start to make your way back towards the center with the knees. And then same thing to the other side. So you'll exhale, drop the knees towards the right. Using any props if you need them underneath the legs so that you can keep that left shoulder closer to the floor. Then you might rest the right hand on the outside of the left leg and encourage legs closer to the floor. Then reach left hand away from the body. Maybe you rotate palm down towards the floor. And you're always welcome to experiment with the direction you need the face to feel the best twist here. Another 6 to 8 breaths. Seeing if this time you can try to lengthen out the exhales a little bit longer than the previous one. This will just kind of signal to the body and the brain that we're moving towards that last part of practice. Getting the body ready to become in a more relaxed state. With your next inhale, you'll bring everything back towards the center. You're welcome to do any last bit of movement you might need here. Maybe just rock the knees side to side, just kind of checking in with how the back feels. And then you'll start to make your way into that final resting pose. If the low back is sensitive, take a rolled blanket, put it underneath the knees, or pull them a little closer. Pull it a little closer so it's right underneath the thighs. This can sometimes help the low back relax. Palms can face up towards the ceiling or rest palm down onto the abdomen. Maybe relax the feet out to the sides. And You'll give yourself permission to add any support that you might need here. Before we make our way into Shavasana, you'll take this time to work on the breathing practice. So today we're just going to work on lengthening out the exhales again. So you'll inhale for 4 and then exhale out for a count of 8. If at any point you start to feel anxious, lightheaded, or dizzy, please return back to a more normal way of breathing for you. And realize that there can be so many things happening in the body and in life that make it difficult to change the rate of the breath. And so if it's difficult, please, please, please practice patience and kindness with yourself today. So when you're ready, you'll inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1, out. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Long inhale. Nice long exhale. With each next exhale, allow yourself to feel more supported by the ground and any props you might have beneath you. So that as you continue to exhale, you might allow yourself to sink into the support. So that as the body starts to feel more comfortable, it might release any remaining tension that it's holding onto. And in time, you might find this state of being that's right before you fall asleep, where the body is heavy, fully relaxed, resting, almost sinking into the support that is beneath it. And the mind is calm, but present. If it's difficult to quiet the mind, you might just count your thoughts or your breaths. You can count your thoughts too. Or you might use imagery so that anytime a thought comes up, you imagine it somehow floating out of the mind. And there can be so many different ways that you do this. So experimenting with what works best for you. So that hopefully you can take these next 2 to 3 minutes to rest and recover here. I'll let you know when it's time to come out. With your next inhale, notice how the belly or the chest rises. And with your next exhale, notice how they fall. So that as you bring awareness to the movement of the breath, you allow yourself to come back into this current moment. So you can slowly start to wake yourself up. You might wiggle the toes, the fingers. Maybe you circle the wrists and the ankles, or gently rock the head side to side. Maybe a nice big stretch overhead. So that when you're ready, you'll slowly start to roll to one side and eventually push yourself up into a comfortable seat in the center of your space, where you might close the eyes or gently gaze down at the nose. Use a nice long inhale to sit tall, and a nice long exhale to relax the shoulders down away from the ears. Wherever you are, I encourage you to take a moment or two here to just observe how the body and the mind now feel at the end of your practice. And it can be as simple as different or same. You're always welcome to bring the palms together to touch, thumbs in front of the heart space. You might take this time to thank yourself for showing up to your mat, for dedicating this time to yourself and to your practice. Most of all, I would encourage you to thank your body for what it has allowed you to do today. And when you're ready, you'll slowly start to blink the eyes open. Thank you. Thank you so much for letting me guide your practice. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one.